Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story that came out in CNN. And President Ramaphosa is trying to let everybody know that Trump has no clue about what's going on in South Africa. And they also have proof that Trump and his administration have ties with right wing groups in South Africa. And I believe that. Come on. This stuff is global. So, yes, they all have ties. Donald Trump is only speaking out because these are white people in South Africa losing their land. If it was black people in South Africa and land was being ripped away, Donald Trump wouldn't say a damn thing. And we all know it. He wouldn't say nothing. And as far as trying to make him understand, you know, this is what I would have to say to the president of South Africa. Forget about Donald Trump and what he understands or failed to understand. Donald Trump barely knows what he's doing as president of the United States. All of these natural disasters going on around him, and all of them are unresolved. You got the situation in California. California has had major fires over the last few years. Each fire gets worse and worse. And you had Hurricane Michael that wiped out towns down there in Florida. And Puerto Rico has never been resolved. Puerto Rico is still in shambles. People are still living through power outages in Puerto Rico. Still not rebuilt. People are still struggling. And it's a mess. Donald Trump got his plate full. There's an opioid plague going on in the country. People are dying by the thousands on fentanyl, and he shouldn't have time worrying about what's going on in any other country at this point. But what do you expect from a man that think running America, he doesn't need to put in no more than 3 hours a day to run America? And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I bet every dime in my wallet Cyril Ramaphosa works a hell of a lot more than 3 hours a day. I bet you he does. Trump is lazy. That's why he works 3 hours a day, because he's lazy as hell. That's an embarrassing thing to be out there, that your president only works 3 hours a day. That's embarrassing. Okay, so they're saying Trump and the ultra right in South Africa, they actually have ties. And Trump administration believes in the white genocide myth of South Africa. But you notice, ladies and gentlemen, the ones that keep coming forward telling you that this genocide is going on, don't they all look awfully healthy for people that's going through a genocide? They sure do. All of the ones I've seen, they don't look very genocidal to me or anyone else on this earth. Those people overseas that are given in by this message of whites in South Africa being under threat, they are looking at South Africa through the lens of black versus white. And South Africa has long moved away from that, says Ramaphosa. In the main, most of them are racist. And they are not very positively disposed towards black people. Their voice, a seemingly prominent voice, is because they are talking on race issues and saying there is a racial war. There is no racial war in South Africa. White South Africans are working with us to resolve this issue, he said. Yeah, well, see, their idea of the issue being resolved, ladies and gentlemen, is they get to keep their land for free. And that's their idea of resolving the issue. And I wouldn't weigh too much on that. You know, South Africa must stay on their path of land reform. And all right, so some of these groups say that they are just fighting for the rights of minority populations. In this case, white South Africans. The Southern Poverty Law Center, a group that tracks white supremacists, say the Trump helped legitimize the conspiracy theories. That's very true because the man is loaded in conspiracy theories. We know that. In late August, after apparently watching a segment on Fox News, because we know that's all Trump does. Remember, he watches a lot of TV. Okay, according to people that work in that administration, he lives in front of the TV. So Trump don't want to be briefed. Remember when he first took the presidency, they said he did not want to be briefed in the morning like all of the prior presidents. Yeah, that's why he looked like he's winging it every day. So he watched a segment on Fox News. Trump tweeted a request for Secretary of State Steve Pompeo to closely study the South African land farm seizures and expropriation and the large-scale killings of farmers, which is not going on. They say all them white farmers are not being killed like they're saying, and I believe that. You know, ladies and gentlemen, they think if they put a story out there and it gets big in the media, that they will then get to play on the sympathy of the world. And that simply ain't going to work with everybody. Plain and simple. Everybody's not falling for that. And I'm sure not believing that all these white farmers are losing their lives like that. I don't believe that. Okay. The expropriation of land without compensation risks sending South Africa down the wrong path. That remains the U.S. position. Oh, so what? The U.S. is not in any position to tell anybody about their land. These folks sitting here, their forefathers stole this land. So, I mean, come on. Taking advice from them is like downright laughable. Of course, we know what side they're going to be on. It's a no-brainer. While South Africa has the sovereign right to amend its constitution, we believe its decision should be consistent with the rule of law and preserve the investment climate. The African National Congress-led government is pushing forward with the controversial move by amending the Constitution. For decades under apartheid and for centuries under colonial rule, non-whites in South Africa were forced off the majority of viable land in South Africa. With democracy and land redistribution was a major policy priority of the ANC-led government. Still more than 20 years on, most land is owned by whites, and that should not be the case. Oh, every time I start doing my videos, y'all. Every time. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're doing the right thing. I hope they continue on. I know they did already get some land back from the white farmers, and they said they will continue on. So the process has already happened, you know, so they are now beyond just talking about it. It has actually happened. So just continue on to run your country and ignore Donald Trump. Donald Trump can't even fix his own issues here in America. How is he going to get involved with what's going on in South Africa? For real. He don't even know how to run this country. So how is he going to tell South Africa what to do? Give me a break. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And you know what? I'm going to play the video. The hell with that. I'm playing the video.
corruption, lack of will, these were the top issues brought up in a report on the land redistribution, not necessarily money. So why would it be any different? Why should people think that land redistribution won't be a cash cow for corrupt officials?
Well, it will be different because we're now in a new dawn. We're now in a new phase. We have repositioned quite a number of things that we are doing in government to do things more effectively, free of corruption, with greater determination and greater commitment.
The investor community seems to be holding back a little bit, worried about primarily, I've heard from them, the land issue. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, that seemed to be the case until I convened an investment summit. I was able to give the investing community a clear message on the question of land. I said, one, we've got to deal with this. This is a festering sore. I want you to join me in working together to address this problem. We are going to make sure that we address it in a way where we will not want to destroy our economy. We will instead want to improve the lives of our people, taking into account, when I say our people, I'm talking about both Black people and white people, just as Nelson Mandela did.
There are groups lobbying overseas saying that in one case, there's a looming threat of ethnic cleansing in South Africa, but they seem to be getting some traction with that.
Well, we know that there are a number of South Africans, a small group that represents a very tiny minority view within the population of South Africa that are going around the world spreading messages. And in the main, most of them are people who are hankering for a return to the old apartheid ways.
Are these racists?
Yes, in the main, most of them are racists, and they are not very positively disposed towards Black people.
They are getting resonance in the US and Australia, and even getting mainstream politicians like President Trump and the Australian Interior Minister to talk their talking points.
They are, finding people who get some resonance with what they are saying, and these are people who are ill-informed.
But this is the president of the US.
About what is happening here, just as President Trump was ill-informed about the messages that they were beaming out. Those people overseas who are taken in by this message of whites in South Africa being under threat, they are looking at South Africa through the lens of Black versus white. And South Africa has long moved away from that.
What if you fail in this quest? The government has, on some level, failed up to this point. What is at stake here?
A lot is at stake. You could even say that the stability of the country is at stake. And I am not fond of failing at anything. And this issue, we will not fail on.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Ramaphosa is a multimillionaire. His net worth is $450 million. Okay? And he is a very wealthy Black farmer in South Africa. So much for we don't know how to do nothing. We don't know how to grow food or work a farm. What a joke. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.